all stems from this obsession with lightweight. It all starts there, and this sort of purity of idea that he has.
I'm Alana Scher, I'm a senior features editor, and I am working on a very cool feature. I have a very cool car behind me. I have a kind of cool guy next to me. He's won 3-time Indy 500, 4-time Indy champion, and he's won the 24 Hours of Daytona and some races at Goodwood, which you might have heard of. But we're not here to talk about any of that, Dario. We are here to talk about the Gordon Murray T.50.
1,000 kilos. It's got a V12 in the back, revs to 12,100 RPM. It's got 675 PS, 3 seats, center driving position, same footprint as a Porsche Boxster, and it is just epic.
For those of you who maybe, I don't know, are new to cars, welcome. We're so glad you're here. Gordon Murray is a legend of car design, and he is very famously known for the McLaren F1, which is such an incredible car.
One of the greatest of all time, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a real game changer, and yet the designer thought, oh, it could be a little bit better. I'm gonna do that. And that was how he started work on the T.50.
In 2019, I think he started sort of approaching people.
Gordon Murray just comes up to you and is like, so, I have this idea about making a car. You got any interest in that?
He did it. I was sitting in my wife and I were sitting in Monterey, sitting out having a coffee, and he walked up. I was like, oh my God, it's Gordon. He's like, how are you? And then he pulled out this thing and went, I'm doing this car. What do you think? And it was like, oh my word. And then we started getting into details about it, and here we are 5 years later.
That's a Cosworth engine. That's a partnership with Cosworth, and it was an extreme ask of them. I mean, they're known for making high revving, small, lightweight racing engines, but even so, this was big, right? I mean, they'd never done something like a V12 that revved this high.
Not this high. Gordon went and said, right, this is what I want. And they went, oh, that can't be done. And he said, well, just try. And of course they did, and they delivered. But it was, I think, again, it's Gordon pushing with that singular focus of, I want this is what I want. I want an engine. I want the V12, I want a 4-litre, I want a small displacement engine that revs to 12,000. And it needs to be small, it needs to be physically small as well. And they did all that. And it's it's a big part of the car. This was an engine that was built with no regard to budget. It's like, I want it to do this, okay, make it do it. And that was things like, it doesn't have belts, it doesn't have chains, it's got each individual gear. He looked at the late 60s F1 V12s, and he said, that is what I want, that clean shape on the engine. So
like a race car with no alternator hanging off and no starter.
Exactly, starter here, alternator there. You just wanted that clean sort of angle. And so the ISG, integrated starter generator, off the front of the engine. So it takes away the alternator and the starter motor and puts them in the front. And that's one of the reasons it revs so high.
We were driving up and we got here and Dario's like, oh, we haven't really gone for it yet. We've only revved up to 9,000 RPM. That's nothing, man. That's nothing.
It's just warming it up.
The engine is incredible. It's very lightweight, and it's also very low center of gravity.
Yep.
Both in its mounting in the car, and then the engine itself, right? Like the crank is really low?
The crank, everything is on the floor, absolutely. Yeah, you wouldn't want to hit any massive bumps, any speed bumps too fast, because I mean, the tolerances in this engine all throughout it are absolutely minuscule. But we did hit speed bumps on the way up, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of ground clearance, actually.
One of the big differences on the F1 to this car, the engine height. makes it makes the handling a lot sharper because you don't have that big engine behind the CG. It doesn't have a rear roll bar, this car. He hates rear roll bar, shall we say. So this car and the F1 neither has rear bar. But the low centre of gravity of the engine really helps to sort of control the movement in the rear of the car.
Having a manual transmission, it's a rare thing these days, and it is a real choice because from a pure performance numbers way, you can't defend it.
You know, one of the founding principles of the company is driving perfection. It's about the enjoyment of the drive. Do you know what the 0 to 60 of this car is?
No, because you won't tell me.
Exactly. I think I know now because one of the engineers let it slip, but we don't care. It's not about that. There are faster cars out there, but are there cars that are more fun? I don't think so. We've completely gone off in our own direction. We've gone this lightweight direction, normally aspirated H pattern. It's bringing back the enjoyment of actually driving the car.
All right, so carbon fiber tub, correct?
Carbon tub, yes.
And then tell me about the suspension. It is not an adaptive suspension. There's not any electronic gizmos going on to change. There's no like sway bars that automatically connect or disconnect. There's no nose lift. What's the deal under there?
Because it's so lightweight, you don't have to have dampers that are doing multiple things. You just have a good set of dampers that have good body control, good control over bumps as well. And these dampers do that. One of the most impressive things about this car is the way it rides over uneven surfaces and bumps. It's all aluminium, and again, that was part of the weight saving in this car. Every area in this car that could be lightweighted has been. There were, I think, as before I showed up, called Weight Watchers on the car, and every department had to justify why a component weighed a certain amount and could they get it lighter while maintaining or improving structural rigidity, all that kind of stuff.
It has smaller wheels than you would expect on a modern supercar. What size? I mean, they're not small. They're still like family-sized pizzas, but they're not like planets. 19
on the front, 20 on the rear. I think 295 on the rear. The thing is, you don't need it. Again, it's that virtuous circle of lightweight. You don't need big white tires. It will still pull 1 3/4 G lateral load. I've seen on the test track. Actually, it was on the test track in Italy.
You can buy these tires. These are off-the-shelf tires, right?
The tires are cheap.
Yeah.
Actually, the servicing costs are really good. That was one thing Gordon was saying. He said, I am not having this where the customer doesn't want to use the car because of the cost of using it, servicing it. So the servicing costs are certainly, compared to the value of the car, really, really reasonable. But things like tires off the shelf, that was a big deal for him.
No splitter, no wing, no big aero slots? What's going on there? How are you moving air around here?
If you want big downforce, we've got the track car. It's got 1,500 kilos of downforce. T.50S, which is track only, completely unhinged. It's 100 kilos lighter than this car with 100 horsepower more. This car has a fan on the back, so we're developing downforce underbody aerodynamics, but the fan at the back as well to make the floor of the underbody work more efficiently.
So it's almost like a invisible splitter and wing.
Exactly. Gordon's not a big fan on road cars of wings, so that's why we did this. And what it does is it stops the diffuser stalling. It doesn't suck the car to the ground. It's got a very aggressive angled diffuser. The fan takes the boundary layer away, basically stops it stalling. But then it's also got things like streamline mode, which the flaps on the back go down, and it changes the pressure at the back of the car, makes it feel like it's got a longer body, goes faster in a straight line, or if you're driving down the highway, it allows you to do better fuel mileage.
Yeah. You can go over speed bumps. The doors are, I wouldn't want to be in a tight parking lot, but like they open up okay. It's got fairly decent storage. It has 2 luggage pouches on the back.
And you get custom luggage. When you buy this car, you get custom luggage with it. Yeah.
And it has like glove boxes inside too.
Oh yeah,
like
and there's glove boxes under the seats too, and you actually get a toolbox with it as well.
Oh.
With tools.
Do they like match? Can you get them like color matched?
Oh no, it's all matched.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely, and they've got the chassis numbers engraved in them, and it's pretty cool.
And the interior is nice too. It's very simple, but everything seems like it feels nice. Like all the switches feel nice.
The switches. So I came into the boardroom one day, we had a meeting, and I came in early, and Gordon was sitting with a mock-up of the central area of the car, and he was just going click, 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 and he was just playing with the switches like, yep, that's it.
Yeah, he was really into the switches.
It has to be perfect. That's back to that engineering art, and that's interior, exterior. But in the interior, a car this light, any way you can sort of do engineering purity, make the same thing, do multiple jobs, you got to do it. He hates brackets too.
Brackets?
Brackets. You can't have a bracket holding something on. You're not allowed.
How do you do it then?
Well, then one thing has to mate to the other. There can't be a sort of a bracket. There's no middle person.
There's no you can't just screw it on and then.
No. But again, that purity of the driving experience, part of the interior.
Well, speaking of driving experience, I feel like we should do that. Experience the driving.
Shall we go?
We should go.
Let's go. Gordon and I snuck out to Spain for a day, and we did it. We drove it F1 and then T.50, each of us drove it and followed each other, which was pretty cool. And to drive them back to back was unbelievable. I had never driven a road car, driven the GTR, but I'd never driven the road car, so that was my first taste.
How did it compare when you've only known the race car version of something?
A lot softer, a lot more comfortable than the race car. The hard thing was, I used to stand in the showroom in Park Lane in London and look at that car. So it's like most people, I think it's such a big part of one of the reasons we fell in love with cars. And you're driving it and you're saying, well, this is better this way, but you're not, how do I put it, you're not going, well, that's it's not that at all. The details of why it's better are interesting. Most of it's tyre and brake technology, but some of it's the engine being so much smaller in size, so it doesn't move about so much. So that's fifth gear.
It's not as loud as I was expecting it to be.
I'm going to show you a trick.
Yeah.
That's sixth. This has got the touring sixth.
It's totally silent.
Right? It's like an EV.
That's amazing.
One of the things that's kind of misunderstood about it is people think you've got to rev it because it revs so high.
Yeah.
But again, we're in fifth gear.
Yeah. We're at 35.
So 3,500 RPM, and then so you don't really need to. You hear the induction noise.
Yes.
So this whole area, the carbon was built a certain way, so you get the resonance. That's one thing the F1 does so well, the induction noise is stunning. So you see we're in GT mode. So
how many? There's two modes,
Two
right?
modes, so I lift off the throttle, you feel how smooth it is?
Yeah.
So part of that was to get through the emission cycles. They had to make it kind of smooth to do that. And then if you put it into sport, feel that?
Yeah.
It's just much. And Gordon wanted that.
Yeah, I get it.
Again, that's fifth gear.
I know. It's like no problem. It's just not flustered, nothing.
No. See how little it is as well, but that allows you to kind of play on your own side of the road and you're not sort of stuck between the left side of the car doing that and the right's in the hedge. So we've got the fan now, we've got it in high downforce.
It's not like something where you need to be going, triple digits to get a benefit from it.
About 70. And some of that's drive-by noise. But you really feel it in the quick corners. And also under heavy braking. It moves the centre of pressure backwards. So we'll do this. We'll do 30 miles an hour, fourth gear. Are you lost for words?
What just happened?
What time is it? It's 10 past 12 on the 6th of August. You're lost for words.
It's the first time it's ever happened. Stop talking. That's incredible. That's an amazing automobile. And
you like it?
Yeah, we had so much fun in it. And we didn't even hit all of the, we didn't even hit red line. How do you ever hit red line?
We did once.
Oh, that's right. We did. Well, I'm gonna go start saving up some money. Maybe in the secondary market, I'll be able to.
I think unfortunately in the secondary market, the price, well, unfortunately for you, fortunately for the owners, the price is going the other way.
I'll plan on that. What is next for Gordon Murray and for you? This is not the last car that's coming out.
No, exactly. So 50S, the track car, is under development right now. Gordon's got filing cabinets full of ideas in his office, which he will hand to the team and say, make me that.
All right, well, we'll revisit that when we can go for a ride in the canyons.
That'd be good.